Okay, so sit on enough height that your knees are the same level as your hips, and sit in your less habitual crossing. And move your back shin forward into your front shin, and take the little toe sides of your feet and pull them so that the soles of the feet turn upwards. So make sure that your knees are the same height as your hips. Maybe even a little bit higher if you have any hip issues, tightness in the groins. And then take the backs of your thighs and spread them outwards. As you do that, the inner groins go down, the buttocks flesh goes back, but make sure that you're also turning the inner thighs to the outer thighs. So this goes out. And then bring your fingertips onto your support. Your fingertips are like this, and then turn them backwards. Turn your fingernails backwards so that your thumbs are forward. So that really gets the upper arm to turn. The upper arm bone goes back. Bring the outer hips down. The outer hips draw down, and then the sides of the trunk come up. Bring the back of the armpit to the front of the armpit. Back of the armpit to the front of the armpit, so that and bring the outer shoulders back. So there's a lifting of the back of the chest. And then flow the back upper neck muscles down to encourage the lifting of the chest. If the back upper neck muscles go this way, your upper chest collapses and your shoulders roll forward into what we call kyphosis. So if your back upper neck muscles flow down, visualize that you have a cape going down your back from the base of the skull all the way down to your hips. It's pulling down, and the front of the spine is coming up. The back of the armpit comes to the front of the armpit, and the outer shoulders draw back. And then you bring your hands to your heart center, and there's a lift there. Now maintain that lift without your hands. So now you have to use the spinal extensor muscles to support yourself. Press your hands evenly together, lift your breastbone up, and close your eyes. Take off any glasses, and go within, go inside on this blessed morning, the only morning that we have, so it's a blessed morning. And as you go inside, balance your body weight evenly on your sitting bones. Go down to your base. We always go to the base first in all of our poses. Whatever's touching the floor, we go down. So you have to root down, get stable. Something is always stable. So here the sitting bones, the thighs move down, but then something is moving. That's the sides of the trunk. The front of the spine moves up, the back of the spine moves down, the outer shoulders move back. And with that lift of your trunk, the breastbone is ascendant. Relax your jaw, relax your tongue, relax your throat. Bring an easefulness to your eyes and a depth to your ears and a softness to the skin of your face. Take deeper inhalations to bring some energy, some prana into your body. For your practice, prana is life force. And as you exhale, make your exhalations longer to release tension, stresses, distractions, outer concerns. Really give yourself this time to be fully present here in this moment, here in the body. And please join me for 3 ohms. Lift your chest upwards, bow your head downwards, and be absorbed by the Om and the silence that comes after the Om. And release your hands down to your thighs, and then raise your head upwards and slowly open up your eyes. Okay, stretch out your legs and press the fronts of your thighs into the backs of your thighs. And come to a standing position. Move your props to the side. Come to a standing position. Those of you who need to have a wall or would like to have a wall, you know, if you want to have your mat long ways against a wall for a more supported practice, make sure to take yourself to that wall. Otherwise, stand in Tadasana. Let's go ahead and put a brick, if you have a brick, in between your thighs. So have a brick right up in between the thighs for Tadasana with the feet apart. So bring the front edge of the brick just flush with the front of your thighs, like that, and make the inner edges of your feet as if you had a second brick there. So there would be one brick there and then one brick there. Okay, but we're focused on this one. So spread your toes, bring your body weight back into your heels, and pull your kneecaps up, and roll the outer thighs towards the inner thighs, and move that brick backwards with your inner thighs. So there's a deepening of your inner groins, the top inner groins. Move them back, move them back. And of course, as you do that, when you move the groins back, spread the inner back thighs away from the brick. So here's the inner back thighs, spread them away. So this has to be opening like a book. Inner back thighs go to the outer back thighs. At the same time, then you can't stay there because now you're imbalanced, right? You've really moved the groins back and you spread the inner back thighs apart, but now the buttocks is lifting. So now you have to bring the middle buttocks right here on the sides, you have to bring it forwards without letting the groins come forward and without letting the back of the thighs get closer together. So you have to keep spreading the back of the thighs, moving the groins back, and then bringing the middle buttocks forward and the top of the buttocks down. The top of the buttocks moves down. Middle buttocks forward, top of the buttocks down, and the abdomen draws back and it moves down. At the same, so maintain that as you lift up through the sides of your chest. And then these back upper neck muscles, bring your fingertips here and move the upper neck muscles down. So this goes down, and then do the opposite. Pull the back upper neck muscles up, pull them up, and you'll see how your back hunches. That's the exact what you don't want. So move the back upper neck muscles down until you feel a nice lifting here in the top of the chest. This has to lift, and then the arms extend down and the crown of the head lifts up. So did you lose your legs? Inner groins back, the backs of the thighs spread, the middle buttocks comes forward, the top of the buttocks comes down, the abdomen lifts up, the sides of the trunk lift up, the back upper neck muscles flow down, and then you're lengthening from the back of the shoulder all the way to the little finger, as if there's a little cherub, a beautiful little child, that's just pulling on your little fingers, asking for something, right? And that pulls the back of the arm down, but the front armpit is still lifted. And then the shoulder blades move into your back ribs, and then reach up through the crown of the head. So this is Tadasana. Okay, take the brick out. And let's see if we can recreate that now without the brick. So stand with your feet together. Tadasana Samasthiti. Now the exception is if you have lower back issues, just work with your feet apart. If you have any balance issues, work with your feet apart, as if you had that brick there in between your feet. Otherwise, join your feet together. So Tadasana becomes a little bit more of a balancing posture. So bring your body weight back into the heels. Roll the thighs in, spread the backs of the thighs, redo those actions. The inner back thighs have to go to the outer back thighs. When you first start to hear instructions like that, what is he talking about, right? So you have to sensitize yourself to your skin. You have to bring your consciousness to your skin. That's what yoga is all about, spreading our consciousness. So can you move this out? It's subtle. It's a subtle action, but it's such an important action that will benefit you in all of your poses. And then the middle buttocks comes forward, the top of the buttocks goes down, the abdomen draws back, the sides of the chest lift, the back upper neck muscles flow down, and then the back of the shoulder extends towards the little finger, and the front of the armpits lift. The crown of the head goes up, the eyes are soft, the jaw is soft. Tadasana Samasthiti. Okay, now Trikonasana. Bring your hands to the center of the chest. Raise your arms upwards. Bring your arms out to the sides, and then step your right foot out and step your left foot all the way out. So your feet are coming out under the hands. This is Uttita Hasta Padasana. Remember, those of you who need to, you can have your back against the wall. Just bring the whole long edge of your mat against the wall. So in this pose, spread your toes, press the outer edges of your feet down, lift up through the kneecaps. Still, the inner back thighs are spreading to the outer back thighs. The top of the buttocks is moving down. The middle buttocks is coming forward. Those same actions apply. The sides of your chest are lifting. The back upper neck muscles are flowing down. The only thing that's really changed here is the legs are extended, right? Uttita Hasta Padasana, extended hands and feet. Now turn your left foot in, but turn your left leg out. Turn your right leg all the way out. So that right leg has to turn. So turn the right leg so that the kneecap and the toes are all going to the right, and keep that action. Don't just turn and think that you've done it. It's a continual, so that there's, in yoga, in Iyengar yoga, there's movement and then there's action. So there's the movement of turning the leg out, but then the action of turning the leg out has to continue. So the action continues. You don't just finish it with the movement. You have to keep the action, the activity of turning that leg out. And then you lift up through the sides of the chest, flow the back upper neck muscles down. Now I'm going to the right. So Rebecca, you want to find a wall and you want to go up this way. You don't want to go down, right? You want to lengthen that right side. Okay? This is fine for you, Marion, to go to the right, right? Because you can stay, and then you come into Uttita Trikonasana. So once you're in the pose, extend your right leg. By lifting up the kneecap, extend your left leg, lift up the kneecap. Keep the action going, the activity going of turning that inner right leg to the outer right leg until the right buttock starts to come forward. So there's a lifting from the outer right knee into that right buttocks. And now lift all sides of your spine, lift. Flow the back upper neck muscles down. There's a cape. It's moving down your back. It's pulling the back upper neck muscles down. Pull your buttocks towards your left heel. Pull all of the buttocks towards the left heel. Now turn the right shoulder back and bring the right shoulder blade into the back. Reach down with the right arm, but pull up through your left arm until you turn the left ribs back and the right ribs forward. And you can look upwards as long as there's no neck sensitivity. If there is, just look forward. And then pull up with that left arm and come up out of the pose. Turn your right toes forward. Bring your hands to the chest and then step your right leg in and then your left leg in and stand in Tadasana. Move the thighs back, come back, come back. There's always a forward, right? We're all forward, so come back. That's the whole idea of yoga, bringing the front into the back. The frontal consciousness into the deeper consciousness. Bring your hands to the center of the chest, raise your arms, bring your arms out to the sides, and then step your left foot out, and then step your right leg out. Bring your feet all the way out under the hands. Go wider, so you can get more spread here on the inner legs. You want to make your inner thighs as wide as your inner shins. Not possible, but that's the activity, right? Turn your right foot in, but turn the top of the right leg out. Okay? Turn your left leg all the way out. So now the foot and the leg are turning out on this leg. And really, that's the movement, but now continue the action of turning that inner left leg to the outer left leg. Now on this side, Marion, what you want to do is you want to find a wall and you want to go up. You want to go up the wall on this side. You don't want to go down. You don't want to shorten that left side, Marion, right? You want to stay longer on this side. So you want to do this. And I think the classic pose is fine for you, Rebecca, on this side. So as you go out into the pose, go out, bring your hand down, and the right arm goes up. Now, press into the inner left heel and the left big toe mound and straighten your left leg. Pull the kneecap up. Press the outer right heel and straighten your right leg. And then continue the activity of turning this inner left leg to the outer left leg, and then draw the left outer knee up like a zipper into the left buttocks and bring the left buttocks forward. Move your buttocks towards your back heel and then lengthen your spine. Lengthen the spine. Remember that cape on your back. So flow the back upper neck muscles down. Draw this left shoulder back. Bring the left shoulder blade into the back ribs. Now reach down through that left arm. Reach up with the right arm and then turn. Turn the right ribs back, the left ribs forward, and then pull up as you press that outer right foot down. Turn your left foot in. bring your hands to the chest, and then step your left foot in, and then step your right foot in. Bring your feet together, come back. Extend down through your arms. Reestablish Tadasana Samasthiti. Okay, now take your feet apart and we'll do Urdhva Badanguliasana. So the inner edges of the feet are parallel. The thighs are lifting. Roll the fronts of the thighs in. Move the backs of the thighs out. Bring the middle buttocks forward and the top of the buttocks down. The abdomen comes up. Interlace the fingers in front of the chest. Turn the palms forward and go up with your arms. Go up with your arms. So press the heels down and extend up through your inner and your outer wrists. Pull the wrist upwards, but now move the back upper neck muscles down. Remember the cape, even though your arms are going up, the cape is pulling down your back skin. The back body skin is flowing down towards the buttocks, and the buttocks is going towards the heels. The front of the body is lifting. Lift from the front of your tailbone all the way up to your breastbone, and then move your inner upper arms further and further back, and then bring your arms forward and reverse the interlace. So move your fingers, one finger upwards, turn your palms forwards. See that your elbows are fully extended. The action here is, it's as if you're trying to pull the fingers apart, but you're not letting go. There's an action of pulling the fingers apart, and that helps to squeeze the arms in. Some of you might just come here. If you have, you can't go any further, and make sure that you're not dropping the back ribs. You're not dropping the back ribs down. So go all the way up. Bring your body weight back into your heels. The same action. Spread the inner back thighs to the outer back thighs. Bring your middle buttocks forward and the top of the buttocks down. Lift up through the sides of the chest. Flow the back upper neck muscles down. And move your inner upper arms back and your outer upper arms in. And then bring your arms forward and down. And then join your legs back together in Tadasana. And we'll do Virabhadrasana 2. Okay, so now bring your hands to the chest. Lift up your arms. Bring your arms out to the side. Step your right foot out. And then step your left foot out. So your feet come all the way out under the hands. Turn your left foot in slightly, turning your left leg out. Turn your whole right foot and your right leg out. Okay, now bring your hands to the hips. So in this pose, both of your inner thighs are spreading this way, but the top of the buttocks is moving down. So the buttocks has to go down. Inhale. As you exhale, lengthen the right inner thigh and draw the right knee back into the right buttocks. So there's a moving of the inner thigh. The right inner thigh moves and it goes around so that your knee doesn't do that. Don't let your knee do that. Keep it right over the ankle and then straighten the knee. Okay, now, so Rebecca, what you can do is you can lift up, you can have one arm lifted so you can keep longer on this right side. You can even bend back a little bit, okay? And I think this is fine for you, Marion. As you lift up your arms and now go down, can you add the arms? Otherwise, keep your hands on the hips. Buttocks down, lengthen this right inner thigh, draw the outer right knee back, straighten this left leg, go down, lift up through your chest, and then you look out over that right middle finger. Deepen your breath. Flowing the back upper neck muscles down. Reach your arms away from each other and then straighten the front knee. Turn your right toes forward. Bring your hands to the chest and then step your right leg in and step your left leg in. Tadasana. Now the other side. Bring your hands to the chest. Lift your arms up. Bring your arms out to the side. Step your left foot out. Step your right leg out. So turn the right foot in, but turn the right leg out. Turn your left leg and your left foot out. Make that distinction. Discernment, viveka, is what yoga is all about. Discerning what's true and what's false. What's real and what's unreal. What's everlasting and what's temporary. This is the philosophy of yoga. The more that we're clear, the less that we're going to suffer. Okay, so bring your hands to the hips. Turn the tops of your legs out. Use your thumbs to move the top of the buttocks down and then bend your knee from here. Bend your knee from your hip. From your hip, bend the knee. Lengthen this inner thigh towards the knee. Make sure that your knee doesn't drop inwards. The knee doesn't go here. Keep it aiming. And now draw the outer left knee back into the left buttocks. And then straighten the knee. And again, Marion, on this side, you are lifting up this left arm, right? You can lift up this left arm to keep long on this side. You can even, when we bend the knee, you can even bend back a little bit like this to get longer on that left side. That's for Marion only. Everybody else, lift up your arms. Inhale. As you exhale, bend from here without losing consciousness of your outer right foot. The outer right foot is pressing. Lengthen this. Draw back the outer left knee into the left buttocks. Go down, lift up through the sides of the chest. And now look out over that left middle finger and spread your arms away from each other. Virabhadrasana 2. Now straighten the front knee. Turn your left foot in. Bring your hands to the chest. And now step your legs back together. And come back to Tadasana. Come back with your attention. And we'll do another shoulder opener now. Let's do Gomukhasana arms. Some of you might need a belt. Okay, so if you need a belt, just have that belt handy. You can have it over the shoulders, one of your shoulders this way. So have the inner edges of your feet parallel. Okay, now let's bring the left arm up. Bring your right arm around. And then you turn this arm, and then you keep the outer arm coming forward as you hold the elbow. You hold the elbow and you move your head back. So in this pose, you're lengthening from the outer shoulder all the way to the elbow, and you're reaching this elbow upwards, but the inner shoulder is going down. This right here, right where the belt is going down. It's again, the back upper neck muscles are always moving down. They're not going here, they're going down. So this is going up, this is going down, and this is coming forward, this outer armpit. Now the outer armpit is going forward, but the shoulder blade, which is lower, is going back. The shoulder blades which are here are going this way. Okay, so maintain that, and now bring your right arm out to the side, turn your palm and see if you can hold on to the belt. Okay, or you can get fingers. Lower, shoulder sensitive, remember you're going lower and you're going further over. If there's any lower back, just give yourself more belt. Don't force that. So once you have the shoulders, make sure that both sides of the torso are even. Well, first go to your base, right? Come back into your heels, lift up through the kneecaps. And then move this right shoulder back without moving the elbow back. And then reach your elbows away from each other. Reach one elbow down, one elbow up, one elbow down, one elbow up. Bring the right shoulder back and the outer left armpit forward. Move your shoulder blades deeper into the back. Get another finger, get some more belt, and then release. And we'll go to the other side. So put your belt on this shoulder. Okay, and then bring this right arm up. Use your left hand to turn the arm. Get that action of turning. Use your thumb. The bicep goes backwards. The tricep comes forward. Keep the elbow in. So break this habit of letting the elbow go out to the side as you hold on to that elbow. And then you're lengthening. So in this pose, come back into your heels. Remember, the thighs have to go back. The middle buttocks has to come forward. The top of the buttocks has to come down. And there's a lengthening now from here, from the outer shoulder to the elbow. Reach the elbow up, but this is going down. This back upper neck muscle is flowing down. This goes down. And as this comes forward, the outer armpit, the shoulder blade actually moves back. So the shoulder blades the outer shoulder blades are moving towards the inner shoulder blades. Okay, again, some of this as you work may not make sense to you. Okay, but as you practice, you'll start to become more sensitive to it, and then you'll come. So bring that left arm behind you, hold on to the belt. Remember, go lower and further to the side if you need to. And then whether you're holding belt or fingers, reach your elbows away from each other, get taller. Reach your right elbow upwards, reach your left elbow downwards, not backwards. Don't push the elbow back, reach it down. Move the left shoulder back and move your outer right armpit forward and move your shoulder blades deeper into your back ribs. Move your head back. Maybe you can get another finger, more belt. Pull your elbows away from each other and then go ahead and release. Put the belt to the side and let's come back to, before we do that, let's get a brick for Parsva Konasana. So you might need a brick for your hand. We're going to do Virabhadrasana 1. I'm sorry. So we're going straight to Virabhadrasana 1. That's the sequence from the preliminary course. So Virabhadrasana 1. Okay, I'm going to turn my back to you, but you'll be just doing the same thing. So bring your feet together, bring your hands to the chest, lift up your arms, bring your arms out, step your right foot out, step your left foot out. If there's anyone who's jumping, feel free to jump as long as you know how to jump. If I say jumping and you don't know what that is, then it's not for you to do. But if you know how to jump, if you've been instructed to jump, then you of course can jump. So bring your hands to the hips. Now turn your left foot and your left leg in. Make that distinction. I'm turning my foot and my leg in. Turn your right leg out. So the right leg is forward, the left leg is back. Line up your front heel with your back heel, and just notice, is your pelvis doing this? Is the buttocks coming up, the abdomen falling forward? So you have to move the top of the buttocks down strongly, strongly. Move the top of the buttocks down as you bend the front knee. Bend the front knee, pull the top of the buttocks down. Don't let the buttocks go up. Move it down. Bend the front knee, get it right over the ankle. And as you bend the front knee, extend your back leg. Move the inner left thigh back. And then bring the left hip forward and the right hip back. And then straighten the front knee. Some of you will do that again with your hands on the hips. Others of you extend your arms down and then reach your arms up for Urdhva Hastasana. Okay, so look straight forwards. And as you inhale, make sure you can, if you need to, use your hands here to move that buttocks flesh down. Otherwise, keep the buttocks moving down as you bend the front knee. Bend the front knee. Moving middle buttocks forward. It's the same like Tadasana. The middle buttocks comes forward. Get your knee right over the ankle and then extend the back leg. And now lift up through the sides of the chest and bring your left ribs forward and your right ribs back. Lift up through the arms and move your inner upper arms back. And now straighten the front knee. Turn your right toes forward. Bring your hands to the chest and come on up. Bring your legs back together, right and then left leg. And then we'll do the other side. So bring your hands to the center of the chest. I think these should be fine for Marion and Rebecca. Okay, what you can do whenever Marion and Rebecca, let me just show for a second, whenever you guys are doing upward hands, what's good to do is have a belt like this. Anyone can do this really, but it's super good for anyone dealing with any curvature in the spine. So you put a belt right around your wrist like this, and you're using it to keep longer. So for Marion, you're going to keep longer on that right side, on that left side, and for Rebecca, you're going to keep longer on that right side. So you can use a belt if you'd like to have a little bit more intensity there. Otherwise, bring your hands to the chest, lift up your arms, and step your right leg out and your left foot out. And then those of you who were not Rebecca or Marion, you got a little break. Isn't that nice? I always love when the teacher's talking. Give me a break. So turn your left foot in and turn your left foot and your left leg in. Turn your your right foot and your right leg in. Turn your left leg out because I have my back to you, so I'm not mirroring you. So have your heel to heel alignment there, unless you need to move your right foot more to the right. You do the first one with your hands on the hips, just like we did for Warrior One, right? So as you bring the front of the top of the buttocks down, lift the abdomen up, and then bring your middle buttocks forward, and that's what bends the knee. As you bend the front knee, get your knee right over the ankle, and now straighten your back knee. Remove the buttocks down, and bring your right chest forward, and now straighten that front knee. Some of you will do that again with your hands on the hips. Others of you extend your arms down, and then raise your arms up into Urdhva Hastasana. Bring your attention to the outer edge of the right foot. Bring this right hip forward. Move the top of the buttocks down. Work again with your hands on the hips if it's a challenging pose for you, to get that length to come in the lumbar spine. The lumbar spine loves length. The lumbar spine doesn't like to be compressed. So as you bend the front knee, extend the back leg, move, flow, release the top of the buttocks down, bring the middle buttocks forward, bring the right ribs forward, lift up through your arms and move the arms back. And now straighten the front knee, turn your left foot in and step your left leg in and then your right leg in and come back to Tadasana. Good, now we are all going to have our mats to the wall. So bring your mats to the wall. This way. Okay, and we're going to stand with the back to the wall. Bring your hands, so come to Tadasana. Bring your hands to the, actually just watch first, because when you turn around, you won't be able to see me. You won't be able to see the camera unless you move the camera. So just watch first. So watch what I do. I'm spreading my legs as always, and I'm pretty close to the wall. Just like warrior one, I'm turning my left foot and my left leg in. I'm turning my right leg out. But then I'm going to lift up this right arm, and I'm going to turn. I'm turning this way. I'm turning towards the wall on my fingertips. So my legs are straight. Try not to let your back heel lift. Move your back heel closer to the wall. It's hard, and if it's really coming up, put a blanket or something under that back heel. So this is Parivrita Trikonasana using the wall. Keep your hips in. Don't let the right hip turn towards the wall, okay? So do that with me. Stand in Tadasana with your back to the wall. Bring your hands to the chest, lift up your arms, and then take your legs wide apart under your hands. The feet come under the hands. Bring your hands to the hips. Turn your left foot and your left leg in. Turn your right leg out, so you're turning to the right. Lift up your right arm and then bring it back onto the wall on your fingertips. You can find any position. If there's any sensitivity for the shoulder, just find the best position for you. And then bring your left hand onto the wall. And then as you make sure that your back heel is down, so move your left heel towards the wall. If it's coming up, put something under that back heel. Press your left big toe mound down, pull up through your kneecaps, bring your right hip away from the wall, and move your left hip forward. Now turn your abdomen from the left to the right, turn your ribs, and push into the wall with the right fingertips to get more turn. You have to push that wall strongly with the right fingertips. Lift your chin up away from the chest, and keep the cape moving down your back, and then release. Good. Let's go to the other side. So keep your feet wide. Bring your arms up, and then turn your right foot in, your right leg in. Turn your left leg all the way out. Lift your left arm up, and then bring it back behind you. Find a comfortable position. Make sure that your back heel is down. So move your back heel towards the wall. Be on your left fingertips, right fingertips. This hand can be anywhere that feels doable for your shoulder. Everyone's going to be slightly different with that left hand. So inhale, pull the paint on the wall downwards, lift, and now start to turn. As you straighten your legs, draw your left hip away from the wall. It wants to go towards the wall, doesn't it? Don't let it. And now turn your abdomen, turn your ribs, lift your chest. Remember the cape flowing down your back, and then push into the wall with that left hand. Push, push into the wall with that left hand. And then release. Great, bring your arms and your legs back together. Stand in Tadasana. Okay, now some of you will be repeating that. If that was confusing to you, you want to repeat that until you've mastered that, because that's the first stage. Let me show the second stage, and I'll be using a brick. Okay, the foam bricks for me are a little bit flimsy, but I know that's all that some of you have, so don't worry about that. So from that position, from the back to the wall, I have the brick on the inside. So instead of turning this way, now I'm going to turn this way. I'm going to do this first, but then I'm going to bring this hand down to the brick, and this hand goes up the wall. The brick is on the arch side of my foot, and I'm turning. Now I'm in Parivrita Trikonasana, more of the classic pose. Okay, so let's try that. So again, stand in Tadasana, hold your brick with your left hand, and then bring your arms out to the side, step your legs wide apart, turn your left foot and your left leg in, turn your right leg out, okay, and then bring your right arm back, and then some of you are doing this one, right, the upright one. Some of you, bring your hand down onto that brick on the inside of that right foot, and then bring your right arm up. Now press your back heel down, bring your back heel closer to the wall. Remember, put something under that back heel if you need to. Don't let your right hip go to the wall. It's coming away from the wall. Bring your hips in towards each other, the right hip to the left hip to the right hip. Now lift your spine, and draw the left shoulder back. Bring the left shoulder blade into your back ribs, and now turn and push into the wall with this right hand to turn more. Don't let your head go back. Don't let your right hip go to the wall. And then release, and then reach up with this arm, and you windmill the arms out of the pose. Bring your arms and your legs back together, and we'll do the other side. So hold the brick with the right hand. Those of you going into the second stage, it's not required at all. Bring your arms out to the sides and your legs wide. Turn your right foot and your right leg in. Turn your left leg out. Make sure this back right heel is down. Lift up your right arm. Bring your left arm behind you. Maybe you're doing this first stage, right? Maybe that's all you're doing. Otherwise, bring this right hand down onto the brick on the inner left arch, and then bring your left hand up the wall. So straighten your back right leg, straighten your front left leg. Bring your left hip away from the wall. Don't let it push into the wall. Bring your head closer to the wall, your head and your chest. Now bring your left shoulder back, and now turn your right ribs forward. Excuse me, bring that right shoulder back, bring the right ribs forward, bring the left ribs back, and really push into the wall with this left hand. Push into the wall and turn. Turn your abdomen, turn your ribs. And now get your balance, press your feet, reach through the right arm, and windmill your arms up out of the pose. Bring your arms and your legs back together. Come to Tadasana. Okay, let's put our hands onto the wall. Put your hands onto the wall at the level of your shoulders. Walk your feet backwards. Walk your feet back and straighten your arms, straighten your legs. A lot of you will stay here. Lower back sensitive, stiffer bodies, scoliosis, you're staying here. Everybody else, you can bring your hands down to the floor, wider than your feet, and release the head down. So Uttanasana with the fingertips down. Keep your hips right over the ankles. Don't let the hips go back. Spread the backs of the thighs. Bring the buttocks up and over your head. Lift the abdomen up. Those of you at the wall with your hands on the wall, keep moving your hips away from your hands. Get longer. Move the thighs back and reach the hands into the wall. Everybody, grip around the elbows, grip around the knees. Exhale. Those of you with your hands down on the floor, release your head. Go down. Okay, now everybody bring your hands to the hips, reach the chest forward, and come on up. Okay, now get your brick again, and we'll do Ardha Chandrasana. Okay, so we'll just do it at the wall today. So I'm standing with the right side of my body to the wall. I'm pretty close to the wall, but I'm not all the way at the wall with my feet. And then I bring the brick down, and the brick is all the way against the wall at the highest level. And then I bring my right hand onto the brick. I bring my right shoulder over. My back is against the wall. I bend my right knee, and I lift my leg up. So hands to the hips. And we're just going to do that. So just lift the leg up. You want to learn to lift this left leg and straighten the right leg in one motion. Straighten and lift. Go down. Good. So straighten and lift, and then go down. So straighten and lift, and now hold. Good. Make sure that your right shoulder is right over the wrist, and your right leg is straight. Remember the action. There's movement, but there's action, right? Turn the top of that right leg out. Extend that left leg. Pin your left shoulder back. Pin your right shoulder back, and lift up your left arm. If it's possible, even look upwards. Reach the chest and pull this arm up. Pull this left arm up. Reach back through this left leg. And now bend your knee and come down. And we'll do the other side. Okay, so other side, Ardha Chandrasana, using the wall for support today. So I'm standing with the left side of my body to the wall. If it's opposite for you, it doesn't matter. You just figure it out, okay? And then you bring your left hand down onto the brick. The brick is all the way at the wall. Right hand to the hip. So coordinate these actions. As I bring my left shoulder over my left wrist, I keep my left knee bent, and then I straighten my left leg as I lift my right leg. Those actions, and then do it again 5 times. Go up. That's it. And you're turning. So you have to lift up, lean back into the wall. 2 more times. Come up, straighten the leg, lift this lifted leg simultaneously. It's a simultaneous action. Very good. Now, once you're there, straighten your left leg. Make sure that your left wrist is right under the shoulder. Turn the leg out. That's the action. Bring your left buttocks forward, but press your right heel back and lengthen this right leg and take the top arm up. Lift your chest, lengthen your spine, and then reach up through that top arm to turn the right ribs back and the left ribs forward. But check and see, did my left shoulder come forward? Bring it back and push your left shoulder blade into your back ribs. And then bring your hand to the hip, top hand to the hip, bend the bottom knee, and come down. And release, and stand in Tadasana. Okay, now, lower back issues, I want you to go in again, put your hands on the wall. Lower back issues, scoliosis, anyone with tighter hamstrings, go ahead and put your hands onto the wall again. You'll be doing that again. Otherwise, you can try the first stage of this. Okay, so actually I'm going to show different ways. Okay, so the first stage is just to have your hands on bricks and your chest forward. So this is the same pose as when I have my hands on the wall, right? Now I've just brought my hands down. So like I said, some of you might want to stay with the bricks. Stay with the wall. Others of you can go to the next place, which is to have your hands down on bricks. Others of you can go even further, in which case you bring your index finger, middle fingers, and thumbs around your big toes, and you hold on to the big toes. If you can't reach to the big toes, you can have a belt under the ball mounds of your feet, and you hold on to a belt, right? So this isn't so good if you have lower back sensitivity. You want to use the bricks or you want to use the wall. So please take care of yourself. Otherwise, you're holding here or you're holding onto the big toes. Now, in this pose, whichever pose that you're in, you have to lift the front of the spine. How do you do that? By remembering the cape. Remember, the back upper neck muscles are pulling back towards the buttocks. And as you get that cape, the front of the body lengthens. Press the back of the arm into the front of the arm. Those of you here, press and pull the back upper neck muscles down to lengthen the front of the spine forward and pull on your toes. Don't let your hips go backwards. And now bring your hands to the hips, reach the chest forward, and up you come. Super good. Stand in Tadasana. Lift up through the sides of your chest. Okay, now we're going to sit down now after those standing poses, and we're going to do Virasana. Okay, so Virasana pose. So now some of you who have knee issues, you won't be doing Virasana pose, but I'm just going to show, okay? So I'm just going to have my back to you to show the pose. If you have sensitive knees, put a blanket, open up a blanket, and put it on your sticky mat so it will cover your knees and the tops of your feet. Okay, I'm just going to show without that today. So I put the brick right in between my feet. Remember, use a blanket here if the knees are sensitive. And then I move my calf muscles back and out, and I sit down on the brick. Now that one brick might feel too low, so you can move it higher. If that feels too low, use 2 bricks. And if 2 bricks aren't working for you, I want you to come around and just sit in a cross-legged position, okay? So sit on a cross-legged position. Others of you, move your calf muscles back and out and sit. And then some of you can actually sit on the floor, or maybe you can just sit on a folded blanket, on the front edge of a folded blanket. So some of you have to go higher, but some of you can go lower. Otherwise, you're sitting, again, in this pose, Swastikasana, as when we start the class. So find one of those poses. Find the correct height for you. Reach the toes backwards. The toes go straight backwards. Pull the skin from around the shin bones forward. And then lift your buttocks upwards and pull the buttocks flesh back so that the sitting bones become more apparent. Bring your outer shoulders back and be in Virasana, hero's pose. So press the thighs down with your hands. The root of the thighs are pressing down, and then lift up through the sides of the chest. Deepen your breath. Keep the back upper neck muscles flowing down. Outer shoulders back. Now interlace your fingers in front of you. Turn your palms forwards and go all the way up. So reach the toes backwards. Press the outer shins downwards. Keep the abdomen back. Lift up through the sides of the chest. And then visualize that someone's holding your legs and your hips down, and then just lift out of that. Pull your wrists upwards and move your inner upper arms back. And then come down and reverse the interlace of your fingers, awkward interlace. Turn the palms forwards and go all the way up. So press the tops of your feet down, the outer shins go down, the sitting bones down, the groins move down, the tops of the thighs move down. So the thighs are heavy. Now lengthen your waist, lift your ribs upwards, lift. And then take your outer upper arms in, and then get your cape. Put on your cape, your yoga cape. Pull the back of the neck, back upper neck muscles down so the jaw relaxes. As soon as you do that, when the neck muscles are here, the jaw gets tight. So move those back upper neck muscles down and hit the arms back. Bring your arms further and further back, and then come down. Now some of you might need another brick behind you or something behind you, because we're going to twist, right? So bring your arms up, Urdhva Hastasana, turn to the right, and bring your left hand here onto the outer right thigh, and bring your right hand onto the brick behind you, and turn. Turn your abdomen, turn your ribs, lift up through your chest, and turn. Turn the abdomen, keep your chin lifting, flow the back upper neck muscles down, have a bend of the arms. Make sure that your back fingernails are going backwards. Don't turn them inwards, turn them backwards. Come back to the center, lift up your arms, that's it. And then turn, And then bring your right hand down onto the outer thigh. Bring your left hand behind you and turn. Make sure that your left fingernails are going backwards. Lift up through your chest. Turn your abdomen. Turn your ribs. Keep the abdomen back. And then come back to the center. Now, those of you with your legs crossed, switch the cross of your legs. Everybody else, let's do that again. Interlace your fingers and go up. Go all the way up with your arms. Move your side ribs up. Press the sitting bones down. Good, and then come down, reverse the interlace, go back up, sitting bones down, outer upper arms in. Good, and then release. Good, now lift up your arms, turn to the right, bring your right hand down, bring your left hand down, your right hand behind you. As you lift and you turn, don't let your abdomen push forward. Turn your abdomen from the left to the right. Lift your chest, spread your elbows. Maybe you can bring this right hand further back. Bring it further back so you can deepen the twist. So your whole chest is turning to the right. Come back to the center. Lift up your arms, inhaling. Exhale, turn to the left. Bring your right hand down. Bring your left hand behind you. Fingernails back. And maybe you can move that left hand further back. Further back. Yes, and really turn. Bring the right elbow towards the camera. If you're facing the camera there, and your left elbow back. Bring your cape down. Don't let your back upper neck muscles go up. Relax your jaw. And now release. Come back to the center. Very good. Now, Adho Mukha Virasana in this position. So I just hinge forward, and some of you will just be on your fingertips here if you're on a brick, okay? And then you just come as far forward as you can. The feet are apart. This is the classic pose. You walk the hands all the way forward, all the way. All the way. Move your groins back. Move your toes back. Walk your hands further and further forward. If there's any knee sensitivity, stay in the upright position. Otherwise, you can also put a blanket up behind the knees. But if you have questions about that, make sure to text me so I can help you with knee sensitivity. Okay, and then come on up. Okay, so that's the classic pose. Now we're going to do the pose we most often do, okay? So lift up. And take this brick out, and then watch. Once I take the brick out, I bring my big toes to touch now, and I take my knees apart, and I sit my hips down onto the feet. And then I walk my hands forward. I walk my hands all the way forward. So hips are back. If you can't get the hips down, you have to put something there in between the hips. You might need something under the head. So this is Adho Mukha Virasana. Let me show you, for knee sensitivity, what you'll do instead. You'll sit on the front edge of a chair in this manner. You sit on the front edge of a chair, the sitting bones, and you have your two bricks here, and then you just extend your arms forward. You can do this one instead. This is called Pavamuktasana on the chair, and the abdomen is going back. It has a lot of the same elements as Adho Mukha Virasana. Okay? So you're doing one of those poses, okay? And then come on up, and we'll do downward facing dog. Okay, so let's have our hands at the wall. So bring your mat to the wall, the short edge of your mat to the wall. Actually, I'm going to change that today. Let's do it with the heels at the wall, because we're going to go into upward facing dog after that. So you have your heels against the wall, but I will show to the side here in case anyone is newer to this pose. So watch what I do. Those of you who know the pose, go right into downward dog with your heels against the wall. Everybody else, you start with your hands and knees, which is called Chaturangasana, right? Hands and knees. Notice that my feet are pointed. My hands are under my shoulders, slightly further forward. My hands are turned out a little bit. My arms are straight, and then I roll my toes under. I lift my knees, and I press my heels back into the wall. So this is downward dog, using the wall to get the heels to push back into something. It helps to lift up your hips. Straighten your arms, straighten your legs. Move your hips up and back. Those of you not doing downward dog, you can also do hands on the wall again. Otherwise, you can even have your hand, you can use the chair here, and you can do a chair downward dog if this feels better to you. Make sure that the feet are back behind the hips though. So you can do a chair downward dog if using the wall like that doesn't work for you. And then come down and rest in child's pose. Okay, now get your two bricks. Okay, get your two bricks, and just be aware that If you have the softer bricks, it might be irritating to your wrists. So if that's the case, then you can just skip the bricks and you can do it without bricks. But I'm going to show with bricks. So everybody please watch. So from downward dog with my heels at the wall, and I'll give you an option for those of you who can't do this as well. From downward dog with your heels at the wall, you start to make sure the bricks aren't too close. You start to come forward into plank pose, and then you lower the hips down, and you extend the calf muscles back until your chest comes in front of your arms. You might have to bring the feet further forward. So the inner thighs are lifting, the buttocks is down, and I'm pressing the hands down and bringing my shoulders back. And then I go back into downward dog. And your heels might come away from the wall at that point, don't worry. Okay, so continue to do those two poses. Upward, downward dog into upward dog. Legs are straight. Those of you who can't manage that, there's two options. You can bring your fingertips onto the wall, or Leela, if that's too much, fists on the wall. You're standing about a forearm's distance away from the wall, and then you just come up, and you do the pose this way. You just go back, and you do the pose that way, just up and down, just from standing into a nice back extension. Okay, you can do it that way. Otherwise, continue upward dog into downward facing dog. One more time. So downward dog, and then slowly come into plank pose. Lower the hips. Lift the inner knees. Bring your chest in front of the arms. Straighten the arms. Bring the outer shoulders back. The outer shoulders back. And then come back and release. Good. And then again, rest in child's pose or come back to the chair. Big toes are touching, knees apart. You can move the bricks to the side and move the hips way back. Release the head down and rest. Good. Okay, now let's come on up. Those of you who do headstand, this is where you want to go into your headstand practice. So go up into headstand pose, Shirsasana. Those of you who don't do headstand yet, actually I can keep this mat at the wall. You're going to do half headstand. Half headstand is a great way to build upper body strength. We need to keep the upper body strong, especially if there's any tendency for osteoporosis in the upper body. So let me show what you'll be doing for half handstand. So you just basically come in just right from that downward dog position. I think I'm getting a call. There we go. So you're coming into that Chaturanga pose. And then you bring your elbows down right under the shoulders and you interlace the fingers. Headstanders, you can go up into your pose and you press the outer wrist down. Get your shoulders right in line with your elbows. In this pose, the head doesn't come down. So don't worry if you have neck issues. It's actually good for your neck. And you can watch. So once you're here, I'll show in both directions. Okay, so I roll the toes under and I press the heels back into the wall. So I'm in downward dog, but with my forearms down basically. My head is dangling like an earring. I don't want my back to go this way. I want my upper back to move in, and I want my chest to go towards my legs. My head and my hair is just grazing the floor. So I can show you from the front as well in case you weren't able to see that. So the feet are pointed, the elbows come down, interlace the fingers, always reversing the interlace. Each time you do it, roll the toes under, and then you see how my head is off and my shoulders, my chest is going back. And I'm lifting my hips, I'm lifting my spine, and I'm pressing my forearms down. If it's super easy for you, you make it shorter by walking your elbows further back. You walk your elbows further back. That's it, and you move that chest in, move it in. Okay, and then you can always rest in child's pose, and you can repeat that. Rest in child's pose and repeat. Otherwise, let me see if there's anyone in headstand that I can look at. Okay, Camille, that's good. Lift those inner shoulders upwards. Lift those inner shoulders way up. Otherwise, you're just repeating. I saw that, Molly. You're doing well. Just go rest, and then go ahead, up again. Thank you for showing me the video. Okay, good. Okay, that's excellent. So Camille, looks like you're doing well. Buttocks in. Remember, now the cape The cape in both of these poses, so watch here. So remember now the cape, those of you in headstand, just continue, otherwise come down. The cape, it has to go up your back. Now it's a reverse cape, right? The cape is going up, because if the cape comes down, look what happens, I crash. I've got to lift the shoulder blades up my back. Okay, so make sure to get that. You can try it one more time or just rest. Okay, and then everybody come down and rest in child's pose. Those of you in headstand, come down and rest. Remember, we want to get to a place where we can practice headstand with or without support, and we want to practice shoulder stand, if possible, or chair shoulder stand. Or else a restorative pose like Vipariti Karani. Okay, come on up, and we'll do a couple of seated postures again. So forward bending. So now sit in Dandasana. So you can sit on your bricks, you can sit on blankets, whatever you have around. And have your belt handy and sit with your feet hip distance apart. Okay, now the reason, of course, we're on height, I think most of you know, but so we don't do this. We don't want, this is causing strain, so I have to sit on enough height that my sacrum is lifting and the roots of my thighs are lowering. Sit higher, and like I always like to mention, if you have a lot of lower back strain, you can even sit, again, on the front edge of a chair. This is where you can do the pose this way, on the front edge of a chair with your hands back. Otherwise, you're sitting on blankets. Now, there's one or two of you who don't like to sit on the blankets for various reasons, and that's okay, as long as you have that sacrum lifting. It's not a hard set rule. It's just for most of us who have that pull, we don't want the sacrum pulling down. We want the sacrum coming up. We want the upper neck muscles going down. And then bring your hands again. So fingernails forward, turn your fingernails backwards for today, and then draw the shoulders back. Keep the roots of the thighs going down here. Lift up through the sides of the chest. See how different it is with the legs crossed or the legs in Virasana. It's a different pose, isn't it? With the legs straight, draw the shoulders back, lift up through the crown of the head. Relax the back upper neck muscles down. Now, can you keep the turn of your upper arm, but just turn your fingernails forward on the floor or the blankets or the bricks? Move the roots of your thighs down. Now, bring your arms forward. And without dropping backwards, without doing this at all, you're actually using your arms to pull the sacrum up. Pull this up, pull this up, pull this up, pull this up, but move this down. The roots of the thighs go down. So as if you could hold onto the ceiling or someone's pulling your wrists upwards, go up, go further up, pull the sacrum up. It actually feels really good when done well. Move the roots of your thighs down. Something is stable, that's the roots of the thighs. Something is going way up. Move your inner upper arms back. And now bring your arms forward and down. Excellent. And now some of you will continue to do that, either sitting in this pose, Dandasana with the feet apart, or Urdhva Hastasana in Dandasana. But some of you will again do as we did in the standing poses. We held the big toes, didn't we? So you hold the big toes. Of course, you can hold onto a belt here as well, around the bottoms of the feet. But look, do I want to be here? Do I want to be here? Because now my back upper neck muscles are going up. So I have to turn my inner arms upwards. I have to lift the back of my arm into the front of my arm, even if my shoulders come up at first, that's okay. And then I lift my chest by flowing my back upper neck muscles down. I have to lift. So from the side, you come forward, holding onto the belt or holding on, turn the arms, lift this up, and then flow these upper neck muscles down. That fingertips, we did that at the very beginning, didn't we? So move that down. As you move that down, this comes up and you look upwards. This is the pose. Hammer the legs down, lift the chest upwards, move the back upper neck muscles down, and then keep pulling on the toes. Lift the back of the arm into the front of the arm, and then reach the arms forward and up you come and release. Some of you will do that again, okay? That's the first stage of the pose. Others of you will switch. So lift up your arms. So bring your arms down. Make sure that you've pulled the buttocks flesh back so that the sitting bones are super pointy and the root of the thigh is going down. Raise your arms. Maybe this is as far as you go. You can do these first two stages in a chair, completely fine. Otherwise, you come forward, hold on to the toes of the belt. Again, lift the inner arms, lift the back of the arms into the front of the arms. Now flow your back upper neck muscles down and lift your chest. That's it. Some of you will stay here. Others of you, hold on to the outer feet, push your feet into your hands, and then bend your elbows out to the sides and come forward. Now, as you come forward, move the roots of the thighs down. Please stay here if you have any lower back issues. Even here, even here. You don't come forward if you have lower back issues, okay? And you come forward. Now, lengthen, lift your sacrum, move the roots of your thighs down, and now lengthen from your ribs to your armpits, your outer armpits, and from your outer armpits to your elbows. And as you push your feet forward into the hands, now pull on the feet with your hands to lengthen the sides of your trunk even further forward. Now reach your arms forward and come up, and then release your arms down. Excellent. Let's take one more gentle twist. So cross your legs. Just take a twist to the right, and then to the left. And then switch the cross of the legs again. And turn. Turn to the right. And then turn to the left. Okay, and then release. Let's come on to our backs for Chatushpadasana. Those of you who are doing shoulder stand, go ahead up and set up for your shoulder stand. Otherwise, we'll come on to the back for Chatushpadasana. So shoulder standers, you can go up into that pose. Otherwise, for Chatushpadasana, we're going to come here, put the belt right around the fronts of your ankles. If you don't happen to have a belt, hold on to the sides of the sticky mat. So I'm holding onto the belt close to my ankles, but just again, watch first. So come up and watch. So when I do this pose, I want to make sure not to just lift my chest without, lift my hips without first lifting my chest. If I try to lift my hips without first lifting my chest, there's a war that goes on. So watch what I have to do. I have to lift my hips a little bit, but then I have to turn my outer shoulders under me, get the shoulders, and move the back upper neck muscles down. The cape is still moving this way. So now I'm really high up, and then I add the legs. I press my outer feet, and I go up, up, up with my legs, okay? So let's give that a go. Hold onto the belt close to the ankles. Press your outer feet down, and now lift up your hips. And then get your left shoulder under you, get your right shoulder under you. Flow those back upper neck muscles down. Relax the sides of your neck. Now press your outer feet down and lift your middle buttocks up and stretch the fronts of the thighs, and then come down. Shoulder standers, just go up into your pose, be up there with your upper arms pressing down, your shoulder blades coming in, your middle buttocks coming forward, and your legs are lifting up away from the pelvis. Everybody else, once again, Chatushpadasana. So lift up your hips a little bit, and then get your left shoulder under you, your right shoulder under you. Flow the back upper neck muscles down. Relax the neck. Press your outer feet down. Lift your hips higher. Press your inner feet down to keep your thighs parallel. Now pull on the belt and bring the backs of the knees into the buttocks. Lift as high as you can, and then release. Good. Okay, and then we'll do Setu Bandha, Sarvangasana. So put your brick under your hips. You'll either do one brick at the lowest level like this under your sacrum. Okay, otherwise you can do two bricks. The foam bricks, most of us have the foam bricks, right? They're pretty squishy, so don't turn them to the top level. Some of you just keep your knees bent. This is fine, keep your knees bent. Others of you stretch out your legs. Press the fronts of the thighs into the backs of the thighs. Shoulder standers, you can come down into plow pose and spend some time in plow pose. Interlace your fingers, reach your knuckles away from your back, reach your feet away from your head, lift the thighs up. So the tops of the arms are turning out here, just like Chatushpadasana. The fronts of the thighs are lengthening. Roll the outer thighs in, lengthen the inner legs. Keep your outer shoulders down. Relax your jaw, relax your tongue. If it really bothers your back, go lower with the bricks. Even work with your knees bent. Work with your knees bent. Okay? And press the fronts of the thighs into the backs of the thighs. Lift the abdomen, outer shoulders back. Okay, and then bend your knees. Shoulder standers, come out of your pose. Bring your shoulders off the blankets. And then lift your hips up and take these bricks out from under. Let your lower back neutralize on the floor. Good, and we'll just do Supta Padangustasana, number 1. So reach for your belt and put the belt on the bottom of the right foot. Shoulder standers, you can join us now. Come into Supta Padangustasana with us. So come off of your prop, slide down flat on your back, and do Supta Padangustasana with us. And press the back of the left thigh down. Move the right leg up. Press the fronts of your thighs into the backs of the thighs. Keep your outer right foot in alignment with the hip. You're not pulling here. There's no sense of using the arms. It's more of a cooling down pose here. Sometimes it's a much more active pose. Here it's just lengthening the lower back. So you're really pushing the left leg down, the right foot up, and then go ahead and switch the legs. Stretch out that right leg. So get that right leg to release down. Let it just connect to the floor. Like it's a piece of gum going down the back of that left thigh. Get the right leg, or the right leg, and the left leg is up. Straighten the legs. Push the fronts of the thighs into the backs of the thighs. Make sure that your outer left foot is in alignment with the outer left hip. Turn the tops of your arms out. Press the fronts of the thighs into the backs of the thighs without any sense of pulling with the arms. The action of the arms in this pose is just basically holding the leg in position so it doesn't fall to the floor. And then go ahead and release. Good. Now lift up your arms, extend your legs. Inhale, reach your arms away from your legs, get long in your abdomen, soft in your abdomen, and then bring your knees up. Wrap your arms around the legs. Feel free to have space in between the knees. If that feels better, keep the buttocks and the sacrum down as you draw the thighs down into the abdomen. Keep your outer shoulders down. Make sure to exhale. And then bring the feet down, keep your feet together, bring your knees open to the sides, move your buttocks flesh towards the feet, and just rest for a moment in Supta Baddha Konasana. Make sure that your head is balanced on that occipital bone. I didn't mention it before, but you can always put a blanket under your head here for Supta Padangustasana and this pose and Pabamuktasana. So let the inner thighs lengthen towards the inner knees. Let the outer thighs release. Outer shoulders are back. Okay, and let's prepare for Shavasana. So you can just stay on your back. If you're comfortable, just stay on your back. Just stretch out your legs. If you feel any discomfort in your lower back, definitely put something under the backs of your knees, a blanket, a bolster. Put something under your head if your chin is tending to lift. So take some time to get comfortable. And then stretch your legs away from your hips and stretch your arms away from your shoulders. And let loose your legs, let loose your arms. Forget about them. Forget about the legs, forget about the arms. They were doing all the work. Relax your abdomen so that the organic body, your internal organs, start to move and rest towards the back of the body. Let the right chest move to the right and the left chest to the left. Deeply relax the sides of the neck and the jaw and the tongue and the throat. Spread the back of the tongue so it's nice and spread out there. Draw the eyes back and draw the ears inward. Flow the skin of your face down. Bring the front of the brain into the back of the brain, and then flow your brain down into your heart center and let loose yourself. Let loose yourself, let go, relax. Let loose your body, let loose your mind, let loose your breath. Let go of inner tensions, inner holdings, inner stresses, inner locks and blocks. Let loose yourself. Let go. Relax. Shavasana. Now bring your hands to your body and deepen your breathing. Take the benefits of your practice today where you need it most. Maybe it's in the body somewhere. Maybe it's in your mind or your mood, your heart. Bring the healing where you need it most. Direct the healing. And then bend your knees and roll to your right side into a fetal position. Exhale, and then keep rolling to that same side. Come up to sit. Any position that feels good to you. Lift your chest upwards. And bring your hands to your heart center. Let's do one healing Om. Inhale. Om. Lift your chest upwards, bow your head downwards. Namaste, everybody. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Have a beautiful rest of your day and keep yourself strong and healthy and safe. And I will see you the next time. Namaste. Have a beautiful day.